think he just joined.
There he is. It looks like. Jacob, can
Okay.
you hear us? Maybe.
We'll let him come on in anyway. We didn't get a real intro anyway, Shane. So
I
how
can
you
hear.
been? Oh,
I
there
can
we
hear
are.
you. Can you guys hear me?
There's our boy.
Yeah, we got you now.
How you doing,
Okay.
Jacob?
There we go.
Can't see you, but we
Good.
can
How
hear
are
you.
you? I'm trying to turn this camera in here. I got a little exclamation point going on here, so I'm trying to allow that.
That's all right. That seems to be
Camera.
the theme of the show right now is our technical difficulties.
So yeah, we'll give you a proper introduction at least while you're trying to figure out your camera. This is how many years have you been in the CFL now, Jacob?
7, right? So he got drafted.
I'm going into my seventh season.
7th year, and you just signed with the Ottawa Redblacks just up here in Ontario. You were in Edmonton the last couple seasons, so I just want to say welcome to the show.
Yep. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, man.
We're excited to have you because we, you know what, like Chad said that he had someone to come in and chat with us. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna look up this fella, and I didn't realize you were from London. I didn't realize you played at Medway, so that's amazing news for a few other guys that played high school football in London. Unfortunately for Kalen and I, we both played at Westminster, but we had a lot of fun doing it. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, and I got that Kenny Pickett problem. You know, that's why I didn't make the big leagues.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about playing at Medway.
I mean, yeah, that was kind of the start really to my football, I guess, journey. I played 1 year actually of LMFA, and I wanted to. A bunch of my friends were playing, so they asked me to play. I played it. Was like I think I like hockey better. Stuck with hockey until high school, and then so you know, that was kind of my first taste as to what football was like. And I think after my first season in grade 9, I was hooked, and I think I was ready to quit hockey and just do football. So that's kind of when I realized that I should put all my time and effort into football and see what happens.
And you ended up at a prep school in the U.S., right? We might have lost him. I don't know if he's still there.
Yeah, so I played for a. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I just going back to your.
We'll have to put on pause there. We're having a hard time hearing you there, Jake. You're cutting out a little bit of lag there, my man.
Ended up going there for a year, getting a scholarship.
Yeah, I don't think he's hearing us.
Getting a scholarship to play football, and so I went there for 2 years.
All right, so I've heard a burst of velvet here, sorry about this, but we didn't catch any of that except for saying that you had a scholarship.
Which is, a good end to the story.
Came out at a good part, but yeah, we lost the most important part of the story, how we got there.
You want me to try to?
Maybe if you can drop off and join back in, maybe it'll be. Maybe we just have a bad connection right now.
Better.
I'll fire him a text and see if that's faster.
Yeah.
I feel like he can't hear us.
Yeah, Kalen, if it's easier, like if he can't hear us, you might have to give him the drop and then
don't have the permissions, my man.
Oh,
yeah.
Liam, if you're out there, help us.
Help a brother in.
Yeah. All right. Well, until we restart our connection with Jake,
yeah,
we'll just continue along here, and then we'll get him to come back in a sec. There you go. I think he's gonna probably jump back in a sec here, but Should we even drop the Titans quarterback situation
Oh,
in here?
Jesus.
I don't want you to have to sit on it for like 20 minutes while we talk to him. I know Chad had a little hot take and pancake about this. And,
I was shocked that Caleb agreed with me, actually. Oops, there goes my phone. I thought for sure he was going to be coming in hot with me, like calling me every name under the book for going after his guys. But he sent me a message. He was like, hey, that was a good take on it. I literally went the other way just to get you fired up, and I failed.
No, I mean, John Robinson, him and Vrabel got the opportunity to go down and be a part of the Senior Bowl this past off season, right? And our boy came back in there. Let's make sure he gets some room.
Welcome back, Jacob. Can you hear us a little better this time?
I can hear you better now. There we go.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, we kind of got cut off there. So I guess, I mean, we were talking about you left Medway and you went to the prep school, but we kind of lost the middle part of that and you getting the scholarship.
Yeah, so I played the story starts out, I played on a team that was going down to the States kind of between the end of high school season and the beginning of like summer football. So we were going down and playing prep schools in the U.S., like 3 or 4 of them. Try to see how we fared against them, and then also potential places to go if we wanted to pursue a scholarship in the States. And we played Fork Union Military Academy, and a guy I think I was 15, and most of these guys were getting ready to go into university. Well, a guy named Austin Pastor ended up going down there the year before I did, and had a lot of success, and let him get a scholarship to the University of Virginia. Seeing that, did 2 years of high school at Fork Union. So ended up there, and that's where things started. Ended up playing in the States.
Yeah, and then you linked up with you were a Virginia or a Richmond Spider, right? And that's in Virginia. I hope that's correct. I got that off his Wikipedia page.
Well, they would
Yeah,
never
University of Richmond. Yeah, those are They're the most credible online sources, I'm told.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the internet's never been wrong before, so I assumed by Googling your name and using credible sources like Wikipedia and like TMZ, I would get all the best information of what's going on with you.
No doubt. That's how.
Yeah.
So Wikipedia wasn't around. I don't know if I would have made it through college. So we made that happen.
Show your work. I don't want to. That's literally how I went your whole time growing up.
These prep schools that are down, like the one that you went to.
Find out what you got to know.
I was these prep schools, like the one that you went to. Did they scout you? Do you scout them? Do you have to send down tape, or like how does that work?
I mean, if you were just trying to go there to get recruited, that would be the way to do it. What happened for me is I ended up playing them, and they were able to see me play firsthand. So it was kind of after that, and then I think back before it was the Junior Mustangs, we came back and played a season of Falcons. So played that, and then I think they probably ended up watching some games there, some tape or whatever, and figured I could play in the States. So that's how that worked. But yeah, typically to get recruited there, that's what you would do. The first thing is send them some tape.
Yeah, and obviously the tape worked because Yeah, I mean, look at where you're at. I'm sorry, Kalen. Go ahead if you want to go first.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, it's interesting. Like when you're going down to play these games against these prep schools, like, you want to play for eventually. They're going to get you to that next level. Do you go down there with a few tapes of your own, maybe a resume in your backpack, to walk to the coach across the field after the game and, hey, coach, I hope you noticed me out there. Give me a call in a couple weeks, kind of thing, right? Is that how it goes down? Like, is it that quick, or is it more you're hoping they're going to reach out to you first? Like, who's the one that's making the first call here typically?
Yeah. I didn't see any people with resumes after games, but really, like, for me, I went down there with little expectations as far as, getting recruited or maybe I didn't go down there with the intention of like trying to find a prep school to end up at. It was just an opportunity to play football in America against Americans. And that was enough for me to I wanted to see the number one thing is, like, where do I fare against high school players of that caliber in the U.S. So that was for me. But if you do if you know anything about Fork Union, is that they've sent, and I found this out obviously looking them up and realizing if I wanted to go to an all boys military school for 2 years just to play football.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
It was worth it. It teaches you a lot, and it teaches you a lot about yourself, and it was something that I'm very glad I did, especially at the age I was, because people say, like, ask me, could you have ended up playing the CFL or got a scholarship without going to Fork Union? And firmly my answer would be no, is because I would not have had the discipline to do well in school. I just wouldn't have known what it takes to get to that next level here, because I didn't have any, I guess, aspirations of like playing college football, playing pro football. It was just football was something I was good at because I was big, and that's how I fell into it. But the time at waking up at 6 a.m, making sure you're shaved, making sure your hair doesn't touch your ears, making sure your shoes are shined. These are things that not many people do in real life anymore, but they're skills and they're disciplines that you're definitely going to need in some regard to be successful in whatever you're doing next, whether that's school or football or whatever. And those were things that I definitely learned there that I probably would not have learned elsewhere.
Yeah, and
like all I'm thinking is like Varsity Blues is like how high school football is supposed to be in the States, and by the sounds of it, you had a very different way of life than what happened in that movie. So you're just crushing all my dreams here, Jacob.
Yeah, there may be there's most likely some high schools where you could have had that experience, but Fork Union wasn't one of those.
So that was like the main reason why I played high school football, and I was highly disappointed growing up in London, Ontario.
Yeah.
When none of those things happened, and now you're telling me it doesn't even happen at all the schools in the States. So
yeah.
I just think that movie's a lie now. You're just ruining my childhood.
Yes, I mean, there's breaking news, Chad. Most movies are made up. The thing, like, so for people that can't see you, they don't realize that you have a big beard and long hair now. Is that you rebelling against your high school days?
That's, when I went back to Fork Union, I started growing a beard. I actually started it after my sophomore season. Me and a couple of guys on the O-line were like, we're not cutting our hair, we're not shaving until we win a championship. And yeah, it was, and that's how it really started. And I just kept rocking it ever since. But a lot of when I went back to Fork Union to visit, that was one of the questions, was like, did you really hate your time that much here that you're just straight up with the beard and the hair? So the answer is no, but at this point I got to stick with the beard because it's been so long. I'm scared what's underneath there, to be honest.
Well, and I don't really want my O lineman to be clean shaven either. I got to tell you.
Sure.
I think it puts a little bit of extra grit on you to have it that way. And in the recent weeks, we've had the CFL draft and the NFL draft. So the only person on this show currently that has been drafted is you. So we're going to have to rely on you for this. You were a first-round pick. Tell us how you get prepared for draft day, and like what is the anticipation like sitting there, and like were you sitting there with family, friends? Like what were you doing?
Yeah, there's you can anticipate it all you want. You really don't know what that, I don't want to call it like anxiety, but like the nervousness of um, the unknown that's going to be with that. Because throughout your football career, like I chose to go to Fork Union, I chose to go to the University of Richmond. Um, in that situation, you're not really choosing anything. You're being chosen. So um, it was nerve wracking, but you know, in the CFL, you've got there's 9 options for you. So
Right.
right, and I can remember sitting there actually when, well, she told me this after, but my wife was like whispering to people that she didn't want to be drafted to like Edmonton or Winnipeg or ended up in Montreal.
Chose to go there.
Like that's right. So and we that's just how that's how football works. That's how life works. Is we ended up was drafted to Montreal, but it turned out that we enjoyed Edmonton, the city, the team, the organization much more than we did on Montreal. But that's the draft day is a really cool experience. I was with all my family was there. We were watching it on TV, and then it's like what you see on TV too. Is like 2 seconds before they throw the pick in, your phone's ringing, and you're talking to the GM or the coach or whoever's making that call, and they're letting them know that they're going to take you. So it's a cool experience that not everyone gets to experience that. I'm very blessed and fortunate to have been drafted and been playing this long, and I get to play football for a living and provide for my family playing a game that I've played since I was a kid. So for me, that's pretty stinking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Was it like a feeling of relief when you finally got that phone call? Like the stress was over?
Yeah. There's like a calm, just that you're relieved that you made it. But then once that like kind of like high wears off, it's like now there's a different nervousness where like, dang, I got to go to work and like prove that I belong there. Cause you'll see every year there's going to be picks that, I mean, out of the first round in my draft class, I think there's 3 guys still playing.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Well, kudos to you, my man. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's that. And, I've been pretty lucky injury wise through my career. I've been able to stay pretty healthy, but yeah, I've been lucky and fortunate so far.
Yeah. Was Mark Trestman the coach at in Montreal when you got drafted?
No, it was actually Tim Higgins.
Oh, okay.
He was there for a brief moment.
A blip in your history.
Yeah, he was there for maybe 4 or 5 games, and then it was who did we have? And then Jim Pop, the GM, ended up taking over for the next 2 seasons. And then if you look up the 15, 16, and 17 Montreal Alouettes, they weren't very good. So there was a lot of changes after that my time there for sure.
Well, it's kind of like when Will Ferrell went to coach the Flint Tropics, right? I mean, you can't just decide to coach and be a player at the same time. You can't just come out of the GM booth and become a coach. It doesn't work that way.
Sure. I mean, he had done it before, and Jim Pop's kind of a legend in the CFL. So if anyone were to do it, it would have been him. But you got to have no matter who your coach is, you have to have who your players are. You got to be a united team and a good football team. You can have less talented players, but still be a really good football team. So we just didn't have many of those. We had a lot of talent, but not a lot of. We weren't a good team, so we definitely showed that on the scoreboard too.
Yeah, well, I mean, the chemistry is the most important part. Like, you can have that's why most all-star teams can't travel around and beat, the best teams. It just doesn't work that way. You got to build the chemistry. You got to like the guys around you.
Yep. that's we had part of that. I mean, Edmonton had that last year, and even a little bit in 2019. Is that that was some of the most, probably 19 was probably the most talented football team that I've ever been on, and we made it to the East Final, a game away from the Grey Cup, but we didn't get the job done, and that's just kind of a wasted opportunity. But and then last year there's a ton of talented guys, and didn't it Edmonton wins 3 games, so it does show, it does put a good word in for team unity and chemistry, and you got to all be on the same page no matter how talented you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it might be too early to tell, and you might not want to give away any secrets, but how the Redblacks looking this year? I mean, our friends over at Coolbet Canada got your over/under wins at 8.5, and I know you can't give us any insider information, but how's that feeling right now?
Yeah, if you paid attention to odds or social media of what people are going to think of your football team every year, you're going to be in a bad place. So
well, Kalen gets heartbroken every year.
Shut your mouth. Yeah, I wondered if that was going to come out, especially if you're a Titans fan looking at the odds.
Oh, I didn't throw your team. I just said you get buy the hype every year, and you were going 15-1 last year. So
we're the number 1 seed.
Yeah, last year he's not there anymore. We met with one of the quarterbacks for Ottawa, Will Arndt. I don't know if he's involved in the organization at all anymore, but
he's a quarterbacks coach now.
Oh, great! Yeah. He was on with us last year, probably right around this time, Chad? What do you think?
About that, yeah, around this time. I think it was in the last few weeks.
He's leading into the season. He's great guy to talk to. So if you talk to him soon, tell him that the boys didn't go for 2. Say what's up.
I will do that for sure. I'll probably see him in a couple days, at least by the end of the week. So I'll tell him you said what's up.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
So you guys signed Jeremiah Mazzoli. That's got to be a huge help in the quarterback position too.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, a guy that's played in the Grey Cup the last 2 years, been around a long time, can run, can throw. Watching him play and what he would do to us on the regular in Edmonton, I'm glad to be playing with him and protect him and watch him do his thing. It's gonna be fun, but at the same time, to answer your earlier question, is that I really like where we're at on paper. It's a unique situation because there's a lot of new parts and a lot of new players, but the guys that I know that have come to Ottawa to play are just good dudes. Like I've talked with many of them, and part of that deal is when you have new players, you gotta find a way to get together and create the chemistry, and that's been really cool because we haven't even played a game or practiced together yet, but I feel like we're already boys. So I'm looking forward to getting that started and really seeing what we can do.
Now, I know it's probably going to be different from team to team and league to league and everything, but that being said, like, talking about signing somebody that's new there, are you somebody that watches the Twitter feeds to see who you guys are signing? Does your agent reach out to you and say, hey, you got a new signing here you may want to touch base with? Or, how does that come about with you guys? You just wait till you see each other at training camp?
I mean, this year was a kind of a different, for me, it was a different situation because I was a free agent and got to kind of, pick where I wanted to go. And you kind of got you have teams giving you their perspective on what they want to do, the parts that they want to have, how they want to build their team. Maybe, sharing some guys or some names that they want to bring in. And that was cool.
So do you turn to a recruiter at that moment? Do they say, like, hey, we want to get X guy, X player, and you say, let me get on the phone and I can see what I can do. And let's get a 2-for-1 package here, right?
Yeah, that definitely happens. Maybe as a quarterback with receivers, that's definitely a thing where, because guys have relationships. Guys, that's you throw and you catch. So you've got some chemistry already there, but that does happen. Maybe not so much with O-linemen, but that does happen. And I definitely, you learn some about Twitter feeds, but the same time, if you've been around long enough, you know guys on other teams where they may, they may come to you and say, hey, like I've got a chance to sign in Ottawa. Like, what do you think about the place? Or so it happens like that as well.
That's cool.
For sure, and I think that we've been trying to get some tickets out with the Redblacks all for the last couple of years, but I think finally with everything settling down, I think that the boys for Going for Two are going to be making a weekend trip out to Ottawa to watch you. So when you see a couple idiots in the crowd with no shirts on, it's probably Chad and I.
Cool. Well, you let me know when you're coming. We'll get you hooked up, and I'll make sure I know where you're sitting, so I can know where the shirtless guys are.
I'll just look like I'm wearing a sweater.
Yeah,
you just won't be able to tell.
Now,
right.
There was another question, and it's in relation to a different league. So this is a NFL question, but this is one that I think that you could probably relate to the closest. So the NFL schedule is about to be released. It's not out there yet, but you know who your opponents are and whatnot. The Seattle Seahawks have to travel 23,000 more miles than the Pittsburgh Steelers do this year. How would you feel if you were a Seahawks player?
I mean, I think you know that ahead of time that you're going to be traveling. It's the same that would be with us in Montreal. You got to play. You're playing a few West teams twice, so Montreal to BC isn't a short flight. Montreal to Sask or Edmonton isn't a short flight, so you know what's coming there. But to be honest, I think it's if you have a really big like fear of flying or like you hate flying, maybe that sucks for you. But road trips are fun. Like road trips are, from you get to go somewhere else. You stay in a hotel. You get to eat, restaurants. You're out of your normal routine a little bit, and that's where a lot of building chemistry. You talk about building chemistry. That's kind of where that happens. So road trips are good. So I don't think they're worried about them too much. I think especially the way that I'm sure they travel. I don't think they're too upset about it.
Oh yeah, they're probably traveling in just like chambers of like cold water, right? Like just get that recovery going.
I can't believe, coming back, just to put this into perspective, the Steelers here don't even leave the Eastern time zone the entire season. They have 0 time zone changes.
I know. Big Ben's probably concerned that he retired a year too early. No travel this year, he would have been fine.
6,000 miles. You guys, if you're traveling to Florida and back a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly. Jay, you got a favorite NFL team?
You know what? I don't. I grew up. I liked the Raiders. I liked the Giants. I grew up playing tight end, so I followed the tight ends. The Cowboys. My favorite player growing up was Jason Witten, and I like Jeremy Shockey and Kevin Boss.
Shockey, there's a name. That's a good one. Yeah, I like him.
All these tight ends. So I just grew up watching football. Loving football. I don't, obviously I'm biased. I like the Richmond Spiders, but my favorite football to watch is college football. So playing college football and being able to play, as you guys know, football is a small world. You can, you look up teams that are playing every Sunday, whether it's in the NFL or college football, somebody that's, on that team or coaching or, someone that knows someone. So maybe you're pulling for that team. And I've got buddies coaching all over the country now. I've got buddies coaching in the NFL. I've got a couple of buddies that are still playing in the NFL. So just following football, watching football, cheering for them, cheering for whoever I know that's playing. But no, I don't have a favorite team.
That's your favorite team's the Redblacks. That's okay. We'll support that too. I'm all about
favorite CFL team, no doubt. Yeah.
Hey, I'm cool with that. Whoever's cutting you a paycheck is who we're going for.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of the guy who's cutting me a paycheck too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we love that.
Not to mention colors. I mean, I've red. Richmond, we wore red. Edmonton, if you wore red, you were probably cut the next day because that's Calgary's red. And I haven't been able to. I can get I can dust the red clothes off again, and I think our uniforms. I think red and black. That looks pretty slick. So I'm fired up to be able to wear that uniform.
Yeah, definitely the sweetest uniform in the CFL for sure. and we look forward to seeing you in that uniform this year. And the season gets started in a couple of weeks, so I'm sure you got lots of preparation and whatever to get ready for, right?
We're hoping it's going to start. We got to sign a collective bargaining agreement here, hopefully in the next couple of days with the league and the Players Association. So as per usual, they're waiting until the absolute last minute to get that done. But I'm hoping that'll get done, and training camp's supposed to start on Saturday. So
yeah, how's that not bigger news? How do we not know that? Why is it?
Well,
they're not saying it.
Most of the, I mean, I don't think the CFL really wants you to know their antics or what they're up to.
But there's no worry about a deal not getting signed, right? It's not like there's a lockout potential here, right?
Oh, there sure would be.
Oh shit! I didn't know we were that far. I thought the way you were phrasing it there is if like they're just waiting to put the pen to paper, but it's already a done deal kind of thing.
No, they actually walked out of negotiations on Saturday. So
holy hell!
Shit, we're breaking news on here right now.
They walked out on Saturday, but this will be my 7th year. We negotiated in 19. We renegotiated in 20 to try to have a COVID season. That never happened. We renegotiated in 21 to have a shortened season. And here we are 22 where the original CBA expired. So they're renegotiating again. So, it's been tough for sports in Canada the past few years. So, we understand that there's probably money to recoup there a little bit, but with legal betting and some deals that the CFL signed, things are looking very promising financially for the league. So I think there's always, obviously the players want a chunk of that, and they want to see the league grow, and they want to see the players grow, and all that too. So nothing there has to be an agreement out there that works for both sides as per usual, but also as per usual the league tries to corner the players and get them to report to training camp and then try to scare them into signing a deal. So we figured out how to play with no football seasons or how to make it work without a football season, how to make it work with a delayed season. So that scare tactic probably is not going to work too well this time.
Well, all the power to you guys, for sure, man. Stick it to the owners.
Yeah, get every single dollar you are owed.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying that. The PA does a good job, and they know what they're doing, and I'm pretty confident they'll get a deal done. It'll look really bad for the league to have another delayed start. So I'm hopeful they'll get it done, but just another thing to worry about pre-training camp. So
yeah, no doubt. I mean, baseball kind of kept this a secret for a while, and then as it got a little closer, they tried to delay, but under the exact same pretense of what you were saying, they couldn't be late at starting another season. They couldn't afford to alienate fans or upset fans. So I think that you guys are in a perfect position. And yeah, I mean, you sound like you got the perfect attitude towards it. So they might want to put your big ass at the table for negotiations and see if one of those guys tells you no.
I don't think they want that, but they'll get it done. But yeah, it's just like any other league. They're trying to squeeze the players, and however long the players can hold on it'll mean a better deal for us. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, look, we really hope that the season starts on time. We hope you get your deal done. Everything is sorted out, and we appreciate you taking the time to come on with us. And we hope that you'll come on again, and the next time you'll show your face and not be so embarrassed to be seen on camera with us.
I'm not embarrassed. We'll have to work out my technical difficulties here with the camera.
I feel he was just doing it par for the course because of how I was putting this show together to start anyway. So
yeah, hey,
you only get half of me right now is what he said.
Our tech guy is in North Bay. We understand he couldn't help us. Well, he did actually get us on the air tonight, but he wasn't supposed to be able to help us out tonight. But look, we understand the technical difficulties, but like I said, man, we appreciate you, and get ready for the season, rest up, go take care of the family.
Appreciate it. We'll get this camera thing figured out for next time.
For sure. Pleasure chatting with you, man.
No doubt.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.
Yeah, another cool guy. I think we're like 50 for 50 on guests. Like we have not pulled in a bad guest yet.
I did forget
one
question.
First time Kalen came on the show.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
I did forget one question.
We gave you like 85 more chances of you. Think about it.
Yeah,
Chad,
exactly.
Chad, when you talk to your boy, ask him this, because when he went to the military academy, like how many of those guys are destined to go to like the Army league, like to play for the Army, right? And are their offenses as a result, like, do they mirror Army offenses, or do they get a little bit more? I mean, because he's talking about a prep team or a prep league, or they're probably trying to prepare them to get to the next level. I'm assuming they'd probably be a little bit more elaborate than what you see out of a typical Army team,
I can
right?
find out. My buddy's son actually just signed with the one that won the national championship last year.
Oh wow, okay, cool,
Yeah.
rad.
He's a quarterback from North Carolina. He's actually from London as well. He played prep school down in North Carolina.
Okay.
They won the last two JUCO national championships. He just signed there.
Damn, that's sweet.
That is rad. That's another good connection there.
That's a perfect transition because we were talking about quarterbacks and we kind of left Kalen hanging there for a second.
Yes.
So, we're not going to have our normal half an hour rants here.
No.
Because hey, we are already like, if imagine Liam was here producing this right now, he would have already cut
He'd
us
be
off.
in our ears.
But he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. He's sitting in a hotel room with his shirt unbuttoned somewhere and enjoying his life. So, Kalen, you're gonna get the floor. Chad already gave his rant. He recorded it predetermined.
Yeah.
So, any truth to any of this stuff, or any issues with what Tannehill said?
Yeah. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to start with how the question was asked, because everybody saw that what the answer was, right? I'm not here to mentor. My job is not here to mentor Malik Willis. The question was actually, how do you feel about Malik coming to take your job? Right? Nobody shows that beginning soundbite leading into that.
Exactly.
And if I'm the player and that's the question being asked to me, I probably should answer the actual question. The question wasn't, how do you feel about a new guy coming in and are you going to take him under your wing? It was, how do you feel about him coming to take your job? And he answered it appropriately. It's not his job to mentor the guy to take his job. Nobody in their right mind would be mentoring somebody below them knowing that that person is most likely going to take their career from them in a year or 2 years and do it happily. It just wouldn't happen. And then at the other turn here, who are you supposed to impress in your work life, right? I mean, of course you got to impress your fans, but your GM is who you really have to impress and who you have to make happy. And I mentioned that Vrabel and J-Rob are down at the Senior Bowl, and they were asked about, are you looking at quarterbacks, or what do you think about these freshmen coming in? And he said that's the, Tannehill isn't getting any younger. He's going to be 34, and that's the nature of the circle of the life of the National Football League. And we tell the players, all the veteran players, that is your job to not let the freshmen or the young players come in and take it. It's your job to continue to take it back from them every single year. You don't get given your job based on what you've done for us in the past. You have to prove yourself every single year. And I feel that is a perfect mantra, right? Like the GM is telling Ryan, I don't care if I've given you 29 mil. Prove it to me. Prove that you're worth the money and get on the field for it, right? Why would a player not want to have his back up against the wall? And then finally, Tannehill went and talked about going to a really dark place in the offseason mentally. He had to go get some help, Go focus on you. Well, he threw 3 picks.
They traded away his target.
Yeah, and traded away his pick. Yeah, good job. But so you're in a dark place. Focus on you getting better, because the last performance you put together was 3 interceptions, will put you into therapy, and now you're trying to prove yourself again. Don't worry about training a kid who got chased out of Auburn. You guys know I love Malik Willis, and I'm going to say some things here now that might be some shock to some people. He got chased out of Auburn. He played at Liberty, probably the better team in his conference, and still took 5 to 6 seconds to make proper reads every single play. This guy is years behind what Tannehill is right now. So I don't think that we need to be pushing the envelope there. Let Tanny do his thing. Chad, you hit it. Nailed the head, man. Nailed it.
Yeah, and I think
not for long. Why would I give away my secrets to a kid who's gunning for me? If you want to ask a question, sure, I'll give you the answer and I'll help you find it. But I'm not going to go, I'm not going to call you and invite you over for dinner. And I kind of said it the other day in my little rant there. I said, he wasn't a first-round pick. So in 3 years, he's gone. So why would I train you? Because there's 2 things that are happening. They're re-signing you to an extension, or you're leaving and going somewhere else. So one of 2 things are happening. I'm going to train you to go play somewhere else to benefit someone else, or I'm giving you the keys to my car.
Mm-hmm.
And unless I'm ready to call it quits, I'm not giving anybody the keys. I know Ben took some slack for it, for saying kind of the same thing. I'm not going to be that guy. But yeah, he wasn't ready to give the keys up. It was still Ben's team. If you want to go and draft somebody, cool, that's good for you. But that's where it's going to end. And I guarantee you, in New England, Tom had the same thing. And yeah, when Aaron Rodgers, they drafted Jordan Love. He did the exact same thing. Veteran quarterbacks are just give up their job and tell these kids everything they want.
Some of the most popular gold jacket wearing quarterbacks said that in their time. Joe Montana said it. Peyton Manning said it. Tom Brady might as well have said it about Jimmy G. Brett Favre said it about A-Rod. Flacco said it about Drew Lock. And
Esiason said it too, man.
Yeah.
Esiason in Cincinnati.
That's right. That's right. These are big name quarterbacks that said these things, and suddenly it's some shock and awe. And the only reason that it is because it's a slow off season right now because we've seen so much that's happened in the last month. And then, of course, Tannehill's last appearance was 3 interceptions, and he makes a comment like that. So, hey, listen, it's Titans in the media. I'll take it one way or another, boys.
Look, the best thing for Tannehill's job was the Titans not drafting Desmond Ridder. Because I think if this is Desmond Ridder, we're having a different conversation. Not because I think that Desmond Ridder is going to overall be the better NFL player, except for I do. The analysts don't think that. They're saying Malik Willis' ceiling is so high, he's not ready to play, ceiling, whatever. But Desmond Ridder, if you guys got off to a 3-7 start, which I'm not predicting, but I'm saying if you got off to a 3-7 start, Desmond Ridder is playing. Malik Willis, if you guys go 0-17, Malik Willis is not playing this year.
Yeah,
I would be surprised if he dresses this year.
If anything, some gadget opportunity plays, but just as much as Mariota played in Las Vegas. You know, he'll probably played about a dozen snaps the entire season, and I don't see any more than that, and any more than that is a problem. You're right. Desmond Ridder would have pushed the envelope and would have definitely taken his spot in the field much, much quicker than Malik Willis is going to.
Same with probably, Carroll or even Howell, and it's not like a pick on Malik Willis thing here, but he's just not ready. And this is realistically, look down the line 4 years. Which quarterback will have more touchdown passes for your franchise? Marcus Mariota or Malik Willis? I'm probably going to say Marcus Mariota.
Stop! This is my Air McNair reincarnated. Same build and everything. I need it back.
Same finish.
Stop.
Just a yard short. That's all I was asking.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant the finish. Jesus.
He did. Yeah, he did. We'll transition into something that's probably going to be just as dark of a feeling for any Raiders fan out there. Because Tom Brady seems to, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with that guy recently. He seems to just love trolling people. But apparently there's this new craze started by Bieber. Didn't know anything about it. But Tom Brady essentially has admitted that he fumbled the football.
No, nobody was watching.
He didn't say he did.
Nobody was watching.
He implied it. He implied it. So
Tampa Tom does what he wants when he wants, and it has changed everybody's thought of Tom Brady, and it's amazing.
You know, it makes me wonder if at his speech when he's finally getting the jacket, is that something that he finally says or finally admits, or is it just going to be an ongoing joke until he's like 80? You know, like Joe Namath and his kind of stupid joke from the 70s.
Look, I hope he walks over and just hands Charles Woodson a piece of paper.
To this day,
like that he has to open up and read that just says like it was a fumble, and just have the camera on Charles Woodson's reaction.
To this day, Franco Harris and Frankie Fuqua will tell you that was a catch. To this day, and that was back in '72.
Talking about the catch,
we're talking about the original reception.
Yeah.
Which back in the day, like the rule was it couldn't touch your player and go backwards, which I don't really understand, but it doesn't really matter. Brady will never admit to this because he's the ultimate attention whore, and he absolutely needs the cameras on him at all times. So he felt like somebody else was getting a little bit of attention after the draft. Like, look at all these other quarterbacks just came in. He's like, nope. I'm going to make it all about me again. I don't eat tomatoes. I eat avocado toast, and I fumbled. Sorry, Chad.
It doesn't faze me. He was being a buck then. I don't care.
I had a whole thing planned as we were coming on here, and we didn't really get a chance because we had a couple technical difficulties. Look, we worked through it. It is what it is. How is your sickness doing over the fact that you still drafted a kicker? Or I guess a punter, sorry. It was a punter. Because kickers can actually gain points. Like, punters don't.
Punters are people.
Is this why you took off Monday?
It was.
He was sick to his stomach. He knew he didn't want to deal with our shit on that, like after that.
all we talked about before the draft was, I can't believe that time that Tampa drafted a kicker. And literally that weekend, what do they do?
Yep.
And all I'm gonna say is punters are people too, man. We've had them on the show. We're fans of punters. So I'm gonna, take the high road here, and hopefully this guy makes it past week 6.
Look,
Because
punters are
everyone we
not
drafted
fourth round kind
hasn't.
of people though.
So,
No, they're
how much
definitely not.
eligibility does our boy Aiden have left?
2 years. He's going into junior season.
Yeah.
So would it be fair to say then that of all the teams in the NFL, the most likely for him to end up on would be the Buccaneers, Chad? That could be
In his
pretty
hometown.
exciting. That's
That would
right.
just be a Cinderella story.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're all about that. We love the thought of that, and as you know what,
Well,
the draft doesn't disappoint us when it comes to Chad's face. Like, we watched it together. We all know Chad had his eyes on a first round corner. What did the Bucks do? Trade out of the first round. Now, did they make any bad picks? Only one I can think of is a guy that catches the ball and kicks it away. Now, I'm not sure what you're going to do with a punter that's supposed to be of that caliber when you have Tom Brady. But I think that it just speaks to how poor they think your defense is going to be. And they got to continue to bury people deep so you can drive the thing 99 yards, right? Is there any other reason? I mean, the Browns fucking took a kicker too. They're
When did Punt Jesus go? The Bills took him, right?
Yeah, in the 6th round.
Yeah. Yeah. That guy flips fields
Punt
86
Jesus
yards
went
punt.
in the 6th round. Did you guys drafted one in the 4th?
Imagine that. San Diego State to Buffalo. Like, okay. That
Yeah, the ball's not going to hang the same. He's going to find out what's going to happen when he kicks in the goal.
Well,
Seems natural.
he was from Colorado, right? Wasn't that guy the one with the crazy yardage average over the years? Or the number one? He played in Colorado, pretty sure.
Was it? No, I was pretty sure it was San Diego State, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, he played at San Diego State.
Was it?
Yeah. Okay, so the state of Pennsylvania has 2 football teams. And I'm just going to ask this, and maybe I won't weigh in because I don't want to be biased.
Okay.
Today and moving forward, who has more stability at the quarterback position, the Philadelphia Eagles or the Pittsburgh Steelers?
He really loves backing us into a corner here to say what he wants us to say, eh, Chad?
I actually don't know if there's a right answer, to be honest. Mitch hasn't.
It's not rhetorical.
Those lips are
Mitch
quivering.
Mitch
Those
hasn't
lips are
proved
quivering.
Mitch hasn't proved anything yet, so it's hard to
Mitch
say.
proved everything you need to know about him on Twitter by saying he loves to kiss titties.
So yeah,
That's
he's on
all
a
you need
2-year
to know.
he's on a 2-year contract, so I'm gonna go with there's not the most stability there. But the Eagles have done nothing to say Jalen's their guy. And I think the similar situation when I said happened down in Miami, we're gonna give you every single piece possible. And if you can't win, it's your fault. I think it's kind of the similar situation. Billy went and made that offense explosive. They went and got him weapons.
Right.
So if they don't win, well, then it shows that he's the problem. Just like down in Miami, if Tua doesn't win, well, you're the problem. It's nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, I could rephrase the question to make it so that Kalen doesn't feel backed in the corner.
Oh no, because I'm going to say I think don't even bother rephrasing. It's the Eagles, and the reason I'll say the Eagles, Shane, hear me out. Fifth year option.
For who?
Or do they have a 5th year on Jalen? Does he not have a 1st round pick?
No, he was a second round pick.
Sorry. Okay, so what it comes out when they said have they proven that he's their guy? They went and got his best friend. They went and got AJ. Right? I know that the AJ on his own. I mean, you're paying for AJ, but they did that because Jalen was in their ear the whole time too. Right? I don't know if AJ would have been as receptive of going to Philly if it wasn't for the fact that Jalen had been pushing this in his ear for the last month and a bit. Right? So
well, more likely than not, the Eagles found their quarterback of the future in the draft this year in undrafted free agent Carson Strong.
Whoa, you are just on that hype train forever, aren't you?
Apparently, he doesn't have knees. I didn't realize he didn't have knees, but apparently, he doesn't have knees. But so,
which I think is
4
really,
years
really
from
weird.
now, so
his game isn't mobile, right? I mean,
No,
he certainly can be, but he's not a mobile quarterback.
You still have to stand to throw.
Listen, Tom
know,
Brady's knee went backwards off of that Bernard Pollard hit. He was okay.
Next time we're all together, let's get Chad to do a 3-step drop, and then you'll see what we're talking about. Or Liam for that example. another guy with bad knees. But so 4 years from now, you're telling me that Jalen Hurts is the quarterback in Philly?
I think so. I think one of two reasons there. Again, it comes down to that one of his boys is there in Philly with AJ being there. I think that they're willing to just continue the pace with him. Like, there's nothing next year. You got to wait till 2025 for like the next mecca god of quarterbacks, right?
Perfect. That's perfect timing.
Stop. Their division isn't, in my opinion, isn't getting much strong. I still don't believe in Washington. I think that Dallas is on the other end of things. I think this is the time that Philly's going to be able to be good and be good for a while within their division, and that might be unfortunately detrimental to them in keeping the quarterback. Right? You're not going to win the division and drop your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that something like that has happened. I think that Alex Smith would be a decent comparison.
Did they win that year? KC?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And also
in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy G continues to take the 49ers to NFC Championship games, and they just hate his guts. But let's take a quick pause for our friends at Coolback Canada. And this week, I'm sure you noticed, we started the Going for Two wagon ride, which I don't know if anybody knows what the wagon ride is, but come on and hop on the wagon and let's make some money here. Tonight, we are all over Golden State. Sorry. And Memphis. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to go that way. Golden State and Memphis over 224.5 points. That'll get you plus money, so go ahead and enjoy that. There's absolutely no defense in the series. I don't know if John Moran's playing, but I don't think it's going to matter. The last game, Golden State scored in the 140s, so I think that'll be an easy one. But you brought up the the NFC East and the situation, and we had somebody dropping in the chat earlier that they believe, with an inside source, that Baker Mayfield is going to end up in Dallas.
With what? They have no money. They got $15 million, and they still got to sign their rookie class. So
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, man. I think that's just wishful thinking. I get it. Dak's Ryan Tannehill 2.0. I still think that Baker ends up in a place in the NFC. Yeah, but I think like the Lions make a lot of sense. Minnesota, I know that another team that's their cash strap, but they got a little bit of relief there after the extension where Kirk Cousins. That could be your way out of Kirk.
Yeah, but I don't see how Baker Mayfield is an upgrade from Kirk Cousins.
Well, I'll tell you why. That you're paying Kirk $48 million a year to play. What are you going to pay Baker?
He's not fucking agent in the league.
Yeah, and you're not going to pay Baker that much money. And the biggest problem with Minnesota is their defense is all 38 years old and all in the last half of their contract, so they're getting paid a lot of money, right? If you can kind of maneuver some of that, give it Baker $28 million a year or whatever, and be able to shift $12 million or $20 million to something on defense, they could be competitive in that division.
I think it's going to be Seattle.
Oh, you still on that one? Yeah. Makes sense.
It's the only thing that makes sense of this. But I mean, you're not walking into the season and you're not starting Geno Smith, or I don't know, is Travaris Jackson still on Seattle, or is it Drew Lock? I mean,
you're really off Drew Lock, eh? You loved him a couple years ago.
I liked him with Denver. I don't really care for him in Seattle, but
even with DK and Tyler Lockett, like I feel like he's got offensive line shit, no run game, but
I think he's too small, man. Like,
yeah.
After JJ Watt and Cameron Hayward cracked that guy's shoulder like clean in half, I just don't know if he's got it, and it does hurt me. And I was on record saying that if Denver was going to get rid of him, I would love for him to come to Pittsburgh. But since then, a couple new quarterbacks have come into town, so that maybe changes things. But yeah, I just think that makes the most sense.
Mr. Smallfist.
Seattle's got some money. I think Baker is he the future quarterback for Seattle? No. But is he maybe the bridge? Yeah, I it's either them or Carolina. And I think Carolina spent a draft pick on Carroll. So I'm going to go ahead and say that we get a little bit closer to the season here. Training camp reports, whatever happens, and Pete Carroll goes into Snyder's office and ends up getting Baker Mayfield for probably like what do you think, like a 4th round pick or a 5th round pick?
Yeah, I'm listen, the compensation is what I'm interested in. I'm interested to see how much the Browns are going to eat back. That's the big thing for me. All of it.
Almost all of it, right? Yeah. I mean, this is going to be like a Robinson Cano with the Mets right now, who is making $40 million this year, and is designated for assignment. So, that's I mean, everybody knows mine and Chad's favorite sports contract of all time is Bobby Bonilla. But look, you got to love it when guys like Robinson Cano can still make $40 million. Hard to believe that he's 39 years old right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he can still, I don't know, I think he'd still be effective from the left-handed side of the plate. And not to veer off into baseball, but I would make a strong case as to why I think that he could be a platoon designated hitter for the Blue Jays. But like I said, we're not going to veer off. Maybe pay attention to the Morning Brew, and I'll get into it on there. But all right, let's see. You know what? There's a couple other things on here. There's one thing that I need to talk to you guys about, and it's not football related. It's golf related. We could talk about the Kentucky Derby, even though apparently you're not allowed to bet it on in Ontario, which is bullshit. Did you guys watch the Wells Fargo?
No, I was watching the Derby.
Okay, so the Wells Fargo, Thursday to Sunday, whatever. I picked Jason Day to finish in the top 10. Now, I don't know if you guys watched any highlights, but I'll break it all down for you because this thing is burnt in my motherfucking mind for the rest of my life. So I go and look at it, and I see, Thursday, Day's shooting okay. By the end of Thursday, Day's in first, -7. Like, pretty good. Check in on him on Friday. Friday's at a -10. Like, you know what? 10 under par, that's pretty good. Oh, first place. I like my odds. You know what? Like, the difference between first and 10th at that point was 8 strokes. Saturday, I'm at the office. I'm doing a few things. Like, you know what? I'm just going to check on homeboy and see what's up here. And at that point, he was +5. I'm like, this can't continue, right?
He borrowed your golf clubs.
Look, this man is a professional. He needs to pull his shit together. So I check in on him at the end of the day. I was like, oh, wow, he shot 9 over. So now this guy goes from...
For the day or for the whole tournament at that point?
For the day.
I was going to say, the guy he went +45 strokes.
Yeah, so for the day. So that puts him in 13th place. I'm like, you know what? There's no way this guy's going to embarrass himself. There's no way that he's going to find a way to screw this up. And he still finds a way to shoot 2 over par and finish +1 for the tournament. Guy finished 30th. All you needed to do was shoot par golf. You could have even shot subpar golf. But the only thing that you weren't allowed to do was shoot 9 over par on Saturday. And you fucked that up. Finishing in the top 10. Imagine having a 3-stroke lead after 2 rounds and you shoot 9 over and you drop it at the top 10, thus fucking up my bet. And he is my absolute scumbag of the week. And
But there is good news out of it, Shane.
Talk to me.
Now the next time that you go to the course and you absolutely embarrass yourself, you can say you play like a professional golfer still.
Okay, I'll take that. Except for
if Shane shoots 9, he'll be so pumped.
Yeah, and
let's just start with that. He'd be telling you he's quitting his job and joining the tour if you shot 9 over on a round.
2 things that need to happen for me on my bucket list now: shooting 9 over par and finding Jason Day on a street somewhere. Those are 2 things added to the bucket list. You guys got any final thoughts before we roll off here?
I think that's a great way to end it.
My only question I'll leave this with, Shane, is, but it's what the Ravens is. How long are they going to stick with Greg Roman? You've got players that are looking to leave there. Marquise Brown just came out and said it had nothing to do with Jackson is why he wanted out of there. It had everything to do with Greg Roman. So how long does a team keep a stale, stagnant offensive coordinator, man?
Well, I know
is Lamar.
Yeah, look, really what it's going to come down to is till they get rid of Harbaugh. And I'm not calling for Harbaugh's head, but anybody that watches football knows he's not a good football coach, right? That's not a secret, right? I'm not breaking any news here.
He's a hell of a special teams coach. That's about it.
Yeah, look, and he definitely knows how to find a defensive coordinator that can make 9 Hall of Famers into a pretty good defense. Congratulations. And other than that, he's absolute scumbag. Where could Greg Roman go? I think he's going to be there. Like Chad said, he's going to be tied to Jackson. unless Jackson's contract somehow is centric around a new offensive coordinator. But no, there's no such thing as an offensive coordinator, except for maybe the guy in Kansas City that knows how to just like turn athletes into football plays.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the like maybe what's his face, Eric Benelmy needs to leave Kansas City and head over to Baltimore. And I think that him and Jackson could probably do some pretty good things together.
For sure.
All right. Well, you know where to find our socials. Make sure that you're checking them out, liking and subscribing. Actually, this week, I haven't asked him yet, but Chad might be doing the morning brew because I can be at a wedding, or Kalen, one of those guys. And I just asked him live. So
wedding.
We'll see what the reaction.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Tommy boy's getting married this week.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll be at that. You won't even want to see my face at that thing. So.
I think we will. That's the thing. I think that's the beauty of it.
Hey, maybe you never know. You never know. I might let it slide through. But like I said, make sure you're checking out the socials. Anything that we have there, we're always clipping stuff, putting little random tidbits. This episode got off to a poor start, but is having a fantastic finish. So, boys, enjoy the week, and we will catch up next week.